All right, it's time to get into it a little bit here. All right, this is our variable view. This is everything that we've done up to this point, and now we're going to display our code book. Really easy. It's very easy. Just following along with your textbook. File, data file, display data file information, working file. File, display data file information. Oops, working file. Select working file. It's going to process, and up pops our code book. Okay. Um, Here are variables. Here are labels. Now, depending on who knows what, um, your columns may be a bit off. It doesn't mean anything. I just wanted to look a little bit neater for you guys. So I'm going to double click in here and just pull that over a bit. So I recommend is on one line, and so that measurement level is on one line. Okay, and then click outside. I've changed nothing except those two lines. It's just something that was completely cosmetic. That's all. Here are variable names. Position is simply the order in which we entered the variables. Get my music back on here. Okay. And our labels help us understand our abbreviated variable names. SPSS like short variable names, and so labels help us to understand exactly what each variable represents. All right, and some of these variables are self-explanatory. These variable names, college, gender, GPA, etc. But sometimes they're not. So labels help us understand that. If you remember, we changed the measurement scale on some of the variables, nominal to nominal, from scale, which was our default. Okay, we did that for college and gender, and for reading, homework, and extra cred. You can see that here in the measurement scale column. Column width, 8 characters wide. We didn't play around with alignment, but we could change alignment to right, left, center if we wanted to in the variable view. Okay. Print format, your text talks about this. This simply means 8 characters with 2 decimal points. And if you remember, we set the decimal value at 0 for some of our variables. Okay, for reading, homework, extra cred, and for college and gender, we set our decimal value at 0, which is why you only have F8 here. All right. For some reason, my right format is different from your text, but right format has absolutely no bearing on anything. So we're not going to worry about that. Just pretend I didn't even mention that. All right. But if you notice that difference, don't worry about it. It is of no consequence. Variable values. Okay, moving down to variable values. Here we go. Imagine again that you are looking at the data under the variable recommend. You see 1, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything inherently. It's completely arbitrary. But if we understand that we assigned 1 to strongly disagree and 5 to strongly agree, you see I have a typo here. But you know what that meant, strongly disagree. All right, so don't even give me a hard time about it. If you see 1 there and 5 there, 1 there and 5 there. So when you see all those numbers, 1, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 1, 2, 1, 3, we understand now because we have this code book, because these numbers essentially are codes. We understand what they mean. Okay? So a 1 represents strongly disagree. A 5 represents strongly agree. It's a code for a value, a unit of meaning. Okay, so these variable values is essentially our code book. It helps us understand what each number represents. This code represents male. This code represents female. Okay, so this reflects everything that we've done in the previous steps. And so the next exercise requires that you enter data on page 30. So before you watch the video tutorial for problem 2.5, you should enter all of the data and then, of course, attempt to do the problem yourself. If you have trouble, I'll see you in problem 2.5.